Yo, welcome back to Brandon Smooth TV. Back at y'all with another review. We got The Mandalorian Season 3, Disney Plus. And I just finished watching the finale. Season 3 was a lot more based to me on the actual Mandalorian people. It did definitely dive into their mythos a little more, and it really focused on them, of course, getting their planet back. That was, of course, taken over by the Empire. Overall, I don't think season 3, in my opinion, was better than season 1 and 2. Especially the finale was not better, of course, than the rescue episode, the last episode. But it has some good stuff in there. And I did enjoy definitely certain moments. I wouldn't say it's the best season. Season 1 and the ending of season 2 is probably still the best to me. And I don't know, maybe it was because it was fresh. Maybe it's because it was new, you know. But overall, it was hit and miss. We start off, you know, the season basically showing the Children of the Watch faction of the Mandalorians, you know, still doing their traditions, doing their rituals. And basically, Mando is trying to figure out what happened on Navarro. He ends up coming back and they actually get them to come help. And the whole season is really just about reuniting the Mandalorian people, right? Old enemies like Moff Gideon's back. They did have a cool scene where they're basically just trying to keep the Empire together, and there's different factions that's basically hidden. They're working underground. He even has a spy amongst the rebels, and they're basically trying to bring back Grand Admiral Thrawn. Now, Grand Admiral Thrawn, of course, we know he's the blue character, and he was definitely in a lot of the EU books, specifically heir to the Empire. And in the Ahsoka trailer, they definitely had her said, and we know that he's going to either be the big bad for her show. Maybe a glimpse, but we know Dave Filoni's coming out with a new movie that they announced at Star Wars Celebration that he's going to be doing that takes place and kind of is going to bring, basically is going to bring together Boba Fett show, Ahsoka show, and the Mandalorian into one big, I would say, almost like an Avengers Endgame or Infinity War style movie to close those storylines and maybe see what we can have in the future. So, for me, the season really focused on Bo-Katan once she showed up in episode maybe 3 or 4 or 4 or 5. And once she showed up, basically she's the leader of the Mandalorians. She's able to bring all the different factions together. Even the armorer character accepted Bo-Katan because she rescued Mando. And we know in the end of season 2, basically Mando took his helmet off. So he had to go bathe in the waters of Mandalore in order to basically be let back into the fold. He did that. And once he did that, he needed a little help. Because first he got captured with some of the people that was on the planet, and Bo-Katan saved him. In the midst of saving him and him bathing himself in the waters, they seen the mythosaur. Now the mythosaur, you're probably like, what the hell is that? The mythosaur is basically the Mandalorian's logo. It's a symbol of strength, and it's a creature that's indigenous to that planet with the big tusk. That's why you always see the little symbol with the tusk. And that's basically their symbol. So they figured out that the mythosaur exists because she seen it when she rescued Mando from their planet, the Mandalorian planet, Mandor. So Bo-Katan, after they leave, the armor accepts her back, and basically she sends her on a mission to unite all of the different Mandalorian tribes, which they ended up doing. And then it basically came into this big battle at the end where they battled Moff Gideon, who was not captured. We found out he escaped. And he's basically got the Beskar armor, man. He's messing everybody up. He done got all the Dark Troopers with the Beskar armor, and he's basically got them outfitted, you know, like the Mandalorians. They got jetpacks. They can basically do almost anything they can do. Thing with the Darksaber, I hate to say it really didn't amount to shit watching this last episode, because you're supposed to win the Darksaber in combat, but then Djarin ends up giving it to Bo-Katan since she rescued him. But I think it would have been a lot more epic if they would have fought to see who's the best fighter and see who won it in battle, but that didn't happen. So they ended up, on this last episode, you know, they came together. They took back the planet. and they killed Moff Gideon. Baby Yoda definitely got a lot more action type scenes. Of course, he's had action scenes in the past, but he got a lot more action scenes, and he was able to use the Force in tremendous ways to save everybody, blocking explosions. They had them red Power Ranger looking Praetorian guards from The Last Jedi fighting. Took them out, took Moff Gideon out. And overall, he ended up getting adopted at the end of the episode by Din Djarin. So he's actually his son now, which is kind of dope. And Bo-Katan, I would say, is like a far-off mom in a way. That's why you're looking at this picture. They almost look like a little family. And basically all the Mandalorians pledge their allegiance to Bo-Katan. Now, we know at one time her family did rule Mandalore. She's kind of like royalty, which is fine. And they did have some kick-ass scenes, you know what I'm saying? I enjoyed a couple of the scenes with the Darksaber, but Moff Gideon ended up destroying the Darksaber anyways. So it's useless. It means nothing no more. And it's basically, in the Mandalorian culture, whoever yielded the Darksaber is supposed to be the leader, right? So now it's destroyed. Basically, everybody's following Bo-Katan and Din Djarin, and now his name is Din Grogu, since he's been adopted. They're going off on their adventures, and now of course, Grogu is going to be officially a Mandalorian. Not old enough to take the Kree yet, so I'm seeing probably there's going to be a time jump, because he's not old enough to speak to actually take the Kree, but, I can't wait till he gets his full Mandalorian armor. With that and the Force, he's going to be a force to be reckoned with in the future. You know what I'm saying? It's going to be dope seeing him when they do a time jump in some of the future movies to see how he uses the Force. And, his Beskar armor and his Mandalorian skills to kind of fight and navigate. That's going to be super cool. Overall, I give it maybe a 3 out of 5. Season 1 is probably like a 4.5 for me, and season 2 is probably like a 4-ish. But this is like a 3.5 because it was a whole bunch of just we didn't need a whole bunch of cameos. They had Jack Black, they had Lizzo in there. Weird Planet, it didn't even really seem like it fit. It was just a whole bunch of weird stuff. They had Christopher Lloyd in there, who's normally pretty awesome, but they had him in there just doing some weird stuff. Sometimes the cameos can take away, and I know Star Trek and Star Wars, they are known to have cameos, but at the end of the day, it's like, it's not necessarily needed to tell the story, and you can tell it's almost like people's cosplaying to me, or just coming in on some weird skit parody type shit that really didn't really gel for me. I guess there's more than one Mandalorian now, so they're gonna maybe change the next show to the Mandalorians, or maybe the Mandalorian is plural. I don't know, but it was about Din Djarin and Grogu. Now it's about Bo-Katan. That's the route they're going. That's cool. You know what I'm saying? I don't necessarily have an issue with it, but changing up in season 3 and maybe switching who the main character is going to be weird. Not saying that they're going to follow the other character more. I like to incorporate new characters to keep it fresh. But some of the shit's silly, and I think they could have used some of that time to explore Grogu and Din Djarin a little bit more. So, like I said, it was cool. Now, the visuals look good. I like the visuals. Didn't nothing look cheap. And you got to see in this season like the full capabilities of the Mandalorians. I mean, they're taking off from like the planet, going into orbit with their jetpacks. They go into war, a lot of aerial fights. Even a lot more nitty gritty too. And I like this last episode because they showed Din Djarin, he had got captured, but then he escaped and he was kicking ass the way he's supposed to. So I did appreciate that. I also want to use this video to kind of briefly talk about the new movies that's coming out. We know they're doing a movie that takes place thousands and thousands. I'm talking about 30,000, 25,000 years before A New Hope. Going back to the origins of the Jedi. I guess they're going to do one called The Dawn of the Jedi that basically goes over the Jedi lore. I'm actually excited about that. And they're going to follow the first Jedi ever, the Prime Jedi. So if they don't mess that up, that's going to be cool. As I mentioned before, they're doing Dave Filoni's movie. I think that can be pretty good. Rosario Dawson's a good actress. Hopefully we get some more scenes with my boy Luke, because that's why I watch Star Wars. And then they're doing a movie that takes 15 years after Rise of Skywalker, bringing back Rey Skywalker, and she's going to basically do what Luke was supposed to do, but they shitted on him, and basically build the new Jedi Order. I don't know if I'm hype about that. Hopefully they bring my boy Finn back and turn him into a Jedi. If they don't do that, I'm waiting till Disneyplus to watch the new movies, because I'm not really interested in that character. I had so many questions in the Rise of Skywalker and just bullshit shit that happened. She became a Skywalker and got no Skywalker blood. Ben Skywalker's dead. Princess Leia's dead. Luke dissolved in the Force, he's dead, and the movie's called Rise of Skywalker, and there ain't no blood lineage of the Skywalkers left. It's like, what's the point? They should have named that movie something else. I know a lot of the fandom is mad that Rey's coming back. I'm not interested in the character. I already paid for Disney Plus subscription for my kids, so I probably, if I don't see the trailer and see some shit I like, I'll just wait. And I'm a Star Wars fan, and I would go spend my money in the theaters. But if it's gonna be some of the same bullshit, people running around doing powers they ain't never been trained for, just running around kicking everybody's ass, this is gonna really be pointless. Because at the end of the day, seeing people get their limbs sliced off, you know what I'm saying? I'm a man's man. I like seeing that shit. Seeing people struggle. Seeing people actually learn these Force abilities and flirting with different stuff and flirting with the temptations of the dark side, that's what Star Wars is to me. And that super strong family bond. But without that, it ain't gonna really be dope. So I will be back with more videos. Don't forget to like and subscribe to Brandon Smooth TV. Hit the notification. That way when I put out some new stuff, y'all know what's up. Peace.